So let me go here and do what I have to do when I start every time. Make sure that our audience is what it's supposed to be. Here we go. Okay. So good afternoon. It's afternoon for me. It's 3:27 in the afternoon here. And it's a beautiful day, as you can see. I'm outside again. I thought I'd come outside and show you outside again one more time. because the Caribbean is a beautiful place any time of the year, and Montserrat is the most beautiful, the most spectacular of them all. I'm partial, I'm biased, I will admit that, but yeah. So this is Shirley Osborne, and this is day number 16. Today's February 16th, and we're on day number 16 of our lives for the month of February under the umbrella of Elevation 2023. If you don't know what Elevation 2023 is, go to the website www.shirleyosborne.com. www.shirleyosborne.com. Go to the website, get some information, register, sign up, get your ticket now, join us, and let's just have total fun throughout the year while we develop, expand ourselves, work on do personal growth stuff, and have fun. And then we're going to celebrate on New Year's Day. Well, All Year's Day, the day before New Year's Day, right into New Year's Day. So go check out the website and see what it's about. Today we are talking about personal power. And on the website, you'll also see the information about the five aspects on which we are working this year. Very quickly, health, style, wealth, personal power, and relationships. And today's Thursday. We do from Monday to Friday. We do all five. Then on the weekends, we have fun, a different kind of fun. So go check out the website, get the information about Elevation 2023, and then come hang out with us every day until the end of February. And then we're doing lives once a week on the different themes, on things that come up. We have our circle, and our monthly circle comes up next week. And we're doing a seminar on each of, hey you okay? Nice, thank you for coming. We're doing a seminar on each of the five aspects, and we had originally scheduled February, April, June, August, and then October. But we've also added something to the schedule. So a new schedule is coming out tonight, tomorrow, which will have, so we are rearranging things because as we go, as people join, they're asking for different things. And the whole idea is that this year we work on ourselves and provide to each other the things that we need, things that we want. Good afternoon, sir. Things that we want to help us elevate, to help us move forward in our lives, to help us build our accomplishments and our lives, to accomplish more this year, improve something in ourselves, get rid of something we don't want to be doing, work on ourselves this year so that on All Year's Night we can celebrate. We have something amazing to celebrate. Yesterday, I recommended that people go travel because we talked about wealth and how the wealth that you get, the mind expansion that you get from traveling, really traveling, not going to the all-inclusive resorts in Dominican Republic. That's not traveling. Yeah. Traveling is when you go to a place and you meet the people and you eat the food that they eat. You learn a couple of words of their language. You try their clothes. That is what I call traveling. That is the experience that you want. I recommended yesterday that people go do that. Do at least one this year. And I also said, you don't have to get on a plane and go halfway across the world. In many instances, you actually can just go across town. In Phoenix, for example, you can live in Scottsdale, where the rich white people live. I mean, that's just how it is, right? A very, very Republican, very conservative, but it's also a fun town because people in Scottsdale have money, lots of money, and so there are lots of nice restaurants and so on. It's really, really cool. You go across the valley a little bit to Mesa, and you're like in Mexico. It's a whole different world, and it's beautiful. Both of them are lovely. So you don't even have, you can literally just get in your car and maybe drive half an hour, maybe an hour then, okay? Give yourself an hour, go across town, spend an afternoon, and you have traveled, trust me, okay? If you live in New York, go to Little Italy. Go eat real spaghetti, not the thing you get out of the can, Go do something. Just learn to say ti amo, arrivederci, stuff like that. or go to Chinatown, learn about ni hao. I remember in China, I asked them, how do you say thank you? They didn't have a word for thank you. Um, but that's not true. They have a word for shesheng is thank you. Please, they don't have a word because it's the way they've explained to me. People just, people live in community anyway, so it's acknowledged, it's expected, it's just a given that you are politely asking, and then you say thank you, shesheng, depending on and there are all kinds of different accents and different ways of saying it. Some people say shesheng, some it sounds like some shesheng. It's all kinds of interesting ways. All of those are really, really cool things, and that opens up your mind in ways that nothing else can. And it's something nobody can take away. That experience is something nobody can take away. It's wealth. It's a form of wealth. And I also said yesterday that somebody had written and said, I know you're going to talk about wealth in terms of money. Just don't do that yet, Shirley. Don't do that yet. Let us talk some more about the other kinds of wealth. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about all kinds of other kinds of wealth. Everybody knows that money, property, investments, all that is wealth. Everybody knows that we're going to come to that, how to work it in your life, how to ensure that you build that kind of wealth. But it is also important, I agree with her, it is really, really important that we have these other foundations, because like we all know, you could have the most money in the world. You could be the richest person in the world and be the most miserable because you don't have the other kinds of wealth. I talked about Howard Hughes the other day. If you don't know about Howard Hughes, just Google Howard Hughes and see what the man was like and how he died, the condition he was in when he died. Okay? So today we're talking about personal power. We're not going to have a long conversation because we had the perfect example of personal power last weekend at the Super Bowl. I'm talking about Rihanna. Personally, I thought the show was, nothing much. Floating around and things up and down. A lot of people in white, very synchronized, very organized. She in a red thing, red and white. There's not a whole lot to it, in my opinion. The songs are her songs, they are what they are. It was cool, it was fun, but it wasn't this amazing creative thing. It really wasn't. But yes, but in fact, the only thing about that show that really merits any continued conversation is Rihanna. The show was not the issue. The show was not the show. She was the show. Does that make sense? The halftime show, was not the show. The show was Rihanna showing her power, as a woman, as a sexy woman, as a businesswoman, as a rock star, as a Black woman with means, with success. That's all you needed. Yeah, people that be pregnant and run races. So yeah, I hear you. She also showed she's pregnant, and she doesn't have a problem being pregnant. And pregnancy is cool. Yep, she was the show. So there was all of this was a Rihanna power exposition. Go check it out. If you have not seen the video, go look at it. Don't go looking for creative stuff. Just go look for Rihanna. Just watch Rihanna. See how she owns her space, owns that big bulky red thing she was wearing, and all these people in white just marching around. It really was not a cool. There's nothing to it, but it was cool and fun because Rihanna said, "Watch me." That's basically it. Look at me. Watch me. This is me. Got a problem? Me. It's only about me. I am it. Personal power. So I don't need to say a thing else. But what I'm going to say is that you don't have to be Rihanna to have and use personal power. Personal power is something that we all get to use every day, make use of every day to make our lives better and other people's lives. Rihanna is a performer. She's a businesswoman. She sells cool, sexy underwear and makeup. And people love her and they let her wear their clothes. And when Rihanna wears their clothes sell out. She put out a lipstick the other day on her thing, and apparently lipstick was all gone the next day. That's one kind of power. That's you don't have to be a megastar. You don't have to be a billionaire to have That kind of power. Because think about it. What Rihanna did, the power that she showed was the power of woman. Yeah. You can be successful and you can own your space and own your life and be not be subject to anybody's whims and fancies and dictates. You can be a teacher in a school, in a primary school, not even college, in a primary school, and be that powerful. It won't show up. I hope the wind is not bothering. It won't show up to 192 million people they say watched it. It won't show up to that many people. But that's not what matters. What matters is the longevity, the effect it has. One of my Chinese students told me years ago, teachers touch eternity. Teachers touch eternity. That is influence that is even more powerful than what Rihanna has. Rihanna's is more visible, but this one is even more powerful. So think about this. And we had a conversation. We were actually in the middle of a seminar when she told me that. And so we had a conversation in the class about that. You're a teacher. You teach. You're training minds. And think about young people. Think about very young people, children. They're at their most easily influenced, right? They're in their formative stages, the most easily influenced. And studies have shown that up until they're 6 years old, it is before we are 6 years old, our brain cells and the connections and so on are being formed. Our character, our personality, and all kinds of things are being formed. And we never actually change. We can learn about ourselves and adapt and adjust intentionally, but the basics don't change. Okay. So for example, I work with young girls who have been abandoned or who have suffered abuse, child abuse of all kinds. What happens is that their growth, a big old red truck is going by. Yeah. They've been abused, and what happens is that a certain part of their development just stops. There's a group called arrested development. It's not just the name of a group, it actually is a real condition. Something happens and they get stuck right there. So other parts of their personality mature and this part doesn't. And we all have that to some extent. But when you suffered trauma, abuse in childhood, literally parts of your being, your brain just don't develop, and you are either unable to overcome or overcome with difficulty, or have to be intentional and deliberate, which is where therapy and so on come in. Yeah. Therapy and coaching and so on help us to work around those things. And like I said, we all have that to some degree. So for example, I don't know where I got this from, but ever since I can remember, I've been one of those people. I'm at school, for example. I have a project at school. I get the ideas, and the ideas come quick and fast, and I write them down. I'm good. And then I put it down. And I know it's due in a month. There are other people in my class who would literally be working on it systematically for the week, the next week, you know. Me, maybe 3 days before it's due. And then I'm all focused and nothing, can't do anything else. And I've done pretty well even with that, if I may say so. But obviously something happened, and I know I have this, and I have not been able to undo it. I try, and sometimes working on projects, I have stuff to do, and I will actually get it done. But if you leave me to myself, that's how it's going to go. I'm going to start, and then I'm not going to pick it up again until crunch time. I always somehow manage to get it done. But and I also know that if I were to be if I were to pace myself, some today, some tomorrow, some 3 days from now, you know, and it probably would be even better. But my brain doesn't work that way. All right. So we all have some of that. When you suffer severe trauma, the things that don't can be much more severe than that. And so when teachers, when you teach young children, and you are a good teacher, actually, as a matter of fact, whether you're a good or a bad teacher, that's the point. Whether you're a good teacher that helps them, or you're a bad teacher that destroys them, that damages them, it lasts forever. It goes with them through their entire life. And guess what? It gets passed on to their children and the people that they meet. And so it goes on forever. That's what it means. Teachers touch eternity. What you teach today goes on forever and ever and ever. Right? A lot of what I do now, I'm doing it. Yeah, me too. A lot of what I'm doing now, I do because I picked it up as a child. My parents, people around me, teachers, and teachers are not just the ones in school, by the way. I was talking about teachers in school just now, but those are not the only ones, obviously. And if I think back to my mother and some things my mother did, which I know my grandmother did, and my great grandmother did, right? And these are going to be passed on. It just is how life works. It's just how human psychology and human development works. And so when we talk about personal power, we're talking not just a power that you see, right? We're talking about the power to influence people's lives in positive ways, preferably. And to my mind, it ought to always be top of mind. There's a meme going around. It's going around for a long time. There's a woman doing something or other, and it changes. There's one in which she's cooking, one in which she's working out, one in which she's all dressed up to go somewhere, and the tag is mind what you do. Someone's always watching. There's a child sitting on the floor watching the woman, her mother, possibly, getting dressed up or cooking food or working out. Careful what you do. There's always someone watching. Someone watching means there's always someone learning. There's always someone learning. So be careful what you do. That is an expression of personal power. That's one of the ways to use your personal power. Because of course, power, like other things, like love, is not meant to be held up. But it has no value and no purpose and no expression when you hold on to it. It's meant to be used. It's meant to be given away. It's meant to be shared. So if you have the power to help somebody, do it. What will help you do it is the personal part of you that says, I made this decision. I have this capacity. I have this power. Acknowledge it. I am this person. I've earned this, and therefore I can do this. And you share it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let me go back to you're a teacher. You're teaching students, let's say 10, 12, 15-year-old students, middle school, secondary school, high school. And you're teaching them history, English language, chemistry, it doesn't matter. And one child, you notice a child is struggling with the schoolwork. And the question you get to ask yourself, why is this child struggling with schoolwork? Some teachers don't ask that question. The child is struggling and the child has a problem. That's her problem. I won't. A person who acknowledges, recognizes their power and the personal aspect of their power and who wants to use it for good will find out what's causing this. Why is this child struggling? Sometimes it's just that it's a just like some things you have a gift for something, you have a gift for something or something's not, right? It could be just that, and then there are ways to support the child in overcoming that. It could be something going on in their personal life, and then you get to support the child in that, right? So you use your positional power, but what drives you to use your positional power well is the personal power that you have. Your confidence, your sense of yourself, that you have the capacity, that you are confident about you. Personal power is all about being confident in your capacities, your capabilities, and your ability to make something happen. Power itself is about the ability to make something happen. Your personal power is your confidence that you can make something happen, that you have what it takes to accomplish this, that, or the other. And it doesn't have to be for somebody else. It could be just for yourself. I feel confident that I can write a book, and I can write a decent book. That contributes to, is part of my personal power. That confidence that I get from that is part of my personal power. And so when I talk to people, about language or about the issue, the topic that the book might be about, I can speak articulately, I can speak eloquently, I can speak with some information and intelligence because I have confidence in myself. There are lots of people who have information, lots and lots of information, and you can't hear them talk because the personal power aspect is missing. They don't have confidence in themselves. And that can be the result of things that happen in their childhood, generally is, you know. Some people have a speech impediment and are reluctant to speak. Some people think they're too fat, they're not fat enough, they're too white, they're not white enough, they're too black, they're not black enough, all of that stuff. The accent is wrong, they're not posh enough, the hair is not long enough, the hair is not smooth enough, all that. People people bind themselves with all kinds of unreasonable and unnecessary matters. People with personal power don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. And people with personal power are not afraid to show their power, to use their power, because they're using it for good. They're not overbearing. And they know that part of being powerful, personally powerful, is acknowledging that you are confident, that you have the power, and recognizing what it comes from and how you use it, how you express it. We talked earlier, I think last week, we talked about sometimes wearing makeup is a power move. Sometimes wearing nothing, going barefaced is the power move. That's the expression of your power. Yeah? Sometimes getting dressed to the nines is a power move. Steve Jobs did the opposite. Steve Jobs wore a black t-shirt, a black turtleneck and blue jeans. Standard. That was his power move. I don't have to dress up. I was listening to there's a Stephen Bartlett. He's a British podcaster. He does other stuff. He does other stuff, but he has a podcast called Diary of a CEO. And I've been watching some of it recently. And he's talked about how when he was just earning money and just becoming Stephen Bartlett, he used to buy all the name brand stuff. He'd buy all the designer stuff. And he said his first vehicle was a Range Rover. It had to be that. And then he eventually realized, well, no, I don't need to show. I don't need to show that I have money. I don't need to show that I have power. I'm confident in myself, and my power comes from me, from my accomplishments. So I don't need the Gucci bag. I don't need the Gucci shoes. I don't need so he behaves like a normal person. I think he said he bought a bicycle. He sold the car, the Range Rover. He lives in London, I think. He lives in a city anyway, and he bought a bicycle, and that's what he gets around town on. When he has to go somewhere, he gets a car. He gets an Uber, or he gets has somebody pick him up. But he lives a normal life because he's so confident about his accomplishments that he doesn't need to show. That's personal power expressing right there. That's personal power expressing that. And like I said, it comes from his confidence, his accomplishments, and his confidence in himself. So all of this comes around to personal power is developed through personal development. You develop yourself, you become good at what you do, whether you do music, or you write, or you do politics, or you do commerce, or you do medicine, or you do rocket science, whatever it is, or you're a hairdresser, or you cut grass, whatever it is that you do, have confidence in your ability to do it and do it well, and your personal power is added to. Have confidence in yourself. Use whatever is your environment in your life. Develop what you need to develop. Acknowledge it and use it for good. Again, remember, if you don't use it, there's no point having it. So when you have confidence and you show it, sometimes you don't have to say a word. A woman walks into a room, she walks in fully confident. I guarantee you, the other women in there who say, okay, other women in there straighten up. Guarantee you. So you're doing good. You're just walking in confidently gives other people something without you having to say a word. Men is the same thing. A man walks in a room and he's confident and not overbearing, and like men so often are. And some young boys will say, oh, he's cool. He's cool. And there you go. So practice that. Practice that. I tell women all the time, when you walk into a room, Don't ever slouch into a room, especially when you're at work. Do not ever slouch into a room. When you're out in public, do not ever slouch in. Walk in with confidence. Sometimes I say walk in like you own the room, especially if you really do. Walking like you own the room. Walking like you own the room is not arrogant. Arrogance is a different kind of thing, right? Just walking totally confident, you're at peace, you're comfortable, you're hey, hello, how you doing? Morning, you know. You walk into a conference room, don't just think in. Walk in and say good morning to everyone, good afternoon, how you doing? I haven't seen you in ages, how's life going? How's the baby? Express your confidence in yourself. All right? Express your confidence, develop it. Find out where you have it, what you can feel really, really confident about. Breathe it in, own it, embrace it, and express it. That's personal power. That is personal power. The thing I want you to remember is that you don't have to say a word. You're using your power without even saying a word, because when people see you, a young girl sees you, a young boy, not even a young girl, an adult woman, man, they see you walk in, or they see you walking by, they see how you're dressed or how you carry yourself or something, and and they stand up a little bit straighter and they breathe a little deeper, and you have made a difference. You have used your power well. Okay, thank you for hanging out with me this afternoon. It has been fun. I'm going to go do politics in a little bit. I have another live broadcast at 5 o'clock our time, which is pure politics, which is another thing that you know that I love politics. I am a politician at heart. Grew up in a political family, some of you know, and I'm aware that politics is the foundation of everything, because government is what drives all of our lives. Everything in our lives is governed by government. Every single thing, including the chair you sit on, because the chair you sit on is allowed to be made by somebody somewhere, and certain they're told what kind of materials they can use and cannot use, and they ship it according to certain rules and regulations, and it comes, all of that. Really and truly, everything is grounded in government. So I'm deeply interested and involved in that. So I'm going to go do that in a couple hours, and maybe I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway, thank you all very, very, very much for coming on. Gibbs, thank you so much. And have yourself a pleasant evening, afternoon, morning. Enjoy your lunch, your dinner, whatever time of day it is for you. If you're going to sleep, sleep well. Sweet dreams. Don't let the beddy buggies bite. And I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, I have one request just before you go. One request. Go to the website, shirleyosborne.com. Log on, check out Elevation 2023. Get involved. Invite some people to join. Send them to the website. Join yourself, join, and get some friends of yours to join. Let's have fun this year. Sister Circle is coming up. Our monthly circle is coming up next week, as well as our the schedule for the seminars and trainings for the rest of the year. Of course, they're being added to all the time. So as we go through the year, we add things and add people who will be talking to you and so on. Yep. Go have fun. Enjoy the rest of your day too, my lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Until next time, take good care.